Teleworking in government jobs has seen a decrease. The maximum telework status was lifted a while ago, and now we're seeing it in the numbers. So just how likely is it for telework to continue? First, we have to talk about eligibility. Most administrative federal government jobs have the ability to be done through telework. You might not know that when you're interviewing for the position or even when you're working in the actual job, but after 2 or 3 months, usually you can talk with your supervisor and explore a teleworking schedule. This was done before the pandemic. This was done usually to address severe weather. If there's a hurricane coming, if there's a tornado, maybe there's a blizzard, it snowed too much, and you have to stay at home. This is a contingency effort that was done throughout all federal agencies. Now, there is some good news. As far as the actual number of federal government employees that are eligible to telework, that number went up. It went up from 50% to 52% of all government employees. They're eligible. So we can now say that over half the government is eligible to work from home at some point, right? But that doesn't mean that they're all doing it. The people that were eligible and actually teleworked decreased from 94 to 87%. This is only a 9% drop, but this could be a sign of things to come as agencies are demanding more and more of their employees to come back into the office. So aside from who's eligible and who's not eligible, let's look at who actually did. And not only who teleworked, but how often were they able to do it. 14% of people said they teleworked full time. This is not the same as 100% remote work. There's a difference. It looks the same, but it's not. 100% remote work means you can work in any state throughout the country. There is no expectation of you actually coming into the office. 100% telework means you are still supposed to be in that geographical area, and there is an obligation at some time you could be called to go into the office. 56% of people said they teleworked 3 or more days a week. This is the most common situation in most cities. In Washington, D.C. right now, they're only requiring most of their workers to come in 1 time a week, maybe twice a week. But it's going to vary depending on your agency in your office. There are some agencies like the DoD and DHS that are actually requiring their employees to come in a little bit more. 11% of people said they teleworked 1 or 2 days a week. This was the standard before the pandemic. When I was working in my government job, I was doing 1 day a week at home. And then the pandemic hit in 2020 and it was like a light switch. They said, hey, get to the house. And from that point forward, for the next few years, I was 100% telework. 3% said that they telework no more than once a month, or it's situational. These are people that are set up for telework, but it's not part of their normal work schedule. And there's many reasons why people would not be able to telework. The first one, we talked about DoD earlier. A lot of their jobs are under secret clearance or top secret clearance. When you're dealing with top secret clearance or classified information, many times you have to be in a SCIF. You have to be in a location that's secure so you can actually process or review that paperwork or those type of documents. You are not going to be able to do that at home, usually. Now, the other type of job that will not let you telework, obviously, is if you're in a service position where you have face-to-face contact with the customer or with the public. So if you look at park rangers, it's going to be hard for them to do teleworking. They need to be out there on the park servicing the customers or servicing the actual land. You look at law enforcement officers. Obviously, they need to be on patrol. They need to be doing surveillance. They have to be walking the street many times. So there are jobs like that. You look at the trades. If you're doing the trades, if you have to turn a screwdriver or a mechanic or engineer that's fixing something, obviously you need to be on site. Another interesting number about this survey is 6% of people said that their jobs actually allow teleworking, but their immediate supervisor said no, they can't do it. This is a shame. Because given the option, most people would like to have the possibility of doing telework. It would be a morale booster. It could improve work relations in the office. One way that you can ensure that you're actually going to be working from home is get rid of the telework option and just target the 100% remote work jobs. So if you look on USAJobs right now, 79% of these remote work only jobs, they're GS11 and above. So that means only 21% are below GS11. You have to keep in mind that it's a very competitive process. There's a huge amount of people applying. a lot of demand to get these positions, so you have to stand out as a candidate. You have to stand out when it comes to your resume, and it's going to take you a while. So you need to be patient and keep applying. If you were to look on USAJobs.gov right now, you can see there's far more teleworking jobs than 100% remote work. The difference is 383 100% remote work and over 22,000 telework eligible jobs. The 100% remote work jobs, that number should increase. So instead of 300, we were seeing about 600 before this budget debacle with the government shutdown. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? So after a budget is passed or a continuing resolution that takes us out at least for 12 months, once that's passed, we should see an increase with the remote work jobs. There'll be more in the agencies' budgets to support posting jobs like that. Now with the teleworking jobs, most job announcements, they'll let you know in there if the job is telework eligible. But if it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be telework eligible. But I would not bring it up during an interview unless it's make or break. I don't think that's one of the areas you should really be focused on in the interview. You should try to secure the job, do the best you can in the interview. After that, that's a conversation you can have with your supervisor. But like I said, if it's a make or break part of the job, then definitely bring it up. There have been situations when a person takes a job, is not telework eligible. After 3, 4, 5 months, something comes up, there's a situation, medical or otherwise, and they're able to have that job converted into 100% telework. So it has happened in the past. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but it's something that you should keep in mind. Another thing is people that want to work outside of the country. It's going to be difficult to do that on a remote work type job. And the reason for it is no matter what agency you work in, it doesn't matter if it's the USDA or the DOJ, whoever, you're going to need to go through the Department of State. There's an application, it's called DETO, Domestic Employee Traveling Overseas. Everyone has to fill it out. A lot of times agencies do not want to go through the trouble and hassle in order to go through the Department of State in order for you to be approved to work in another country. So as it is right now, if you're doing the telework thing, you're confined to the 50 states that we have here in this country. As for the question, can you still telework in a government job? The answer is absolutely yes. You can today, and in the future, I believe they'll have more opportunities to do the same thing. What the government is competing for, it's competing for talent. And it can't always get that talent by flashing a salary or even by flashing a pension. There are people that do not want that, and they're willing to take a much higher salary and even stock options in a lot of these Fortune 100 companies. So as part of the benefit package, I think the government is going to be using it more to entice talented individuals to come work in the federal government. If you are looking for a federal government job, one of the main reasons that brings people in are the benefits. But you could be in a position where you accept a government job after months of the hiring process, and then you turn around and you're forced to quit that government job. If you're interested in that, then I want you to watch this video next. If you would like to see more videos like this, please click like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.